Man, it takes a while for me to do these videos. What's up, Finn fans and potential football fans in general, because this video is going to be talking about the draft prospects of defensive line. But before I get into that, I want to thank you guys very much for my last video. I broke 4,000 subs. Huge accomplishment for me. Like I said in that video, when I started doing Dolphin stuff on this channel back around this time last year, it was free agencies when I really started talking about the Dolphins on this channel because I love the Dolphins. I was around like 80 subs and then around 100 subs and maybe around 150, 200 subs at this time. To break 4,000 within a year, so getting about 3,900 subs in a year, it's just mind-boggling. And I said to you guys, if you guys break 250 likes, I will do a giveaway to thank you guys so much for helping me hit 4,000 subs. Well, of me recording this, you guys are at 320 likes. So I'm a man of my word, and you almost broke my ass, my like asking by 100 likes. So I'm going to do a giveaway to you guys. I don't know what it's going to be yet, and I don't know how I'm going to pick it yet, but I am going to do it. I'm going to figure it out. So by Monday's video, I will tell you guys what it's going to be and how I'm going to do it. But I'm going to do a giveaway for you guys because thank you guys very much for helping me break 4,000 subs. So let's get into this, and let's break down the draft prospects of the 2019 draft and today's video. So I did quarterbacks, and then you guys wanted me to also do underrated quarterbacks because you guys liked Terry Jackson, and you guys liked a bunch of quarterbacks that I didn't mention. So this video is defensive line. Now I thought to myself, I'm just going to do defensive line in a whole because it's a lot. I have to watch a lot of film. I have to do a lot of research on a lot of players. So it takes a lot out of me, and that's why this video was supposed to come out like maybe about a week ago, and I was just like, I need to push it back because there's a lot for me to do. So I was like, I can't do individuals, but then I thought about it, and I'm like, I can't lump the defensive tackles in with the defensive ends because it's two different types of play style and two different types of players. So with this, I'm doing defensive tackles top fives and edge rushers top fives. But offensive line, it's all going to be one big old fat mess. I'm not breaking down tackles, guards, and centers. Not happening. So without further ado, let's jump into my top 5 defensive tackles in this 2019 NFL draft. And number 5 is Dexter Lawrence, defensive tackle from Clemson. He's 6'4", 342 pounds. Now, this dude has rare size and speed combination. He's a big dude. He's 6'4", 342 pounds. Big guy, fast, heavy nose tackle. So I could see a team that needs that nose tackle that runs a 3-4 defense, picking him up. Again, I don't see him being a first-round talent, and I'll get more into that. He's a bull rush type of defensive tackle. He's going to run you over, not necessarily finesse, not going to, use a pass rush to get at the quarterback, but he does have a good get-off when he's fresh. That's also something that you guys should remember for when I get into his weaknesses. And he's not easy to move. So essentially, like I said, he's a good run stopper. He's a good nose tackle. He could take on the 2 blocks, and he can help the guys behind him in a 3-4 defense. Now, his downside is he was suspended for the end of his college career. So that alone is going to push you back in the rounds. He's also not that great of a pass rusher. Like I said, he needs the moves, he needs the rips, he needs the tears, the spins, all that stuff. But I can see him being more of like a Vince Wilfork type, nose tackle, taking on the 2, the blockers, getting in there every once in a while, like not loading up on sacks, but stopping the run and doing stuff like that. He gets dinged up a lot. He gets banged up a lot, knees, legs area. Also, he has horrible conditioning. And that's why I said he has great get-off when he's fresh. So in the beginning of the game, you're going to get great movement out of him. He's going to be disrupting the offensive line, disrupting the run plays. But as the game goes on, unless he works on this conditioning, you're going to lose him. So that's why I have Dexter Lawrence at number 5. the suspension, his conditioning, and he gets dinged up. He's not a great pass rusher. He's more of like a run-stopping D tackle. So he's not well-rounded, but he is a good nose tackle. But that's why I got him at number 5. And number 4, Quintin Williams, defensive tackle, Clemson. Clemson had a very good defensive line, and our defensive line coach worked with Clemson, so don't be surprised if we draft a Clemson guy. Now, do I want them to draft a Clemson at 13? You just have to wait for my draft video. So he's 6'3", 312 pounds, quick to the point of the attack. He's very good at block shedding. So he was the complementary to Dexter Lawrence. You know, great rip move, agile, strong hands. So he's going to get at there. He's probably a good 4'3" defensive end. You know, have another defensive tackle, kind of like Ndamukong Suh. You know, good ripping, good, you know, get through. He lacks speed. Now, if you remember before, I said quick at the point of attack. But then once he gets through there, he's going to have a hard time chasing down running backs, quarterbacks, especially mobile quarterbacks. So he lacks the speed. And then he has quiet streak games. And what does that mean is he'll have, you know, 2 or 3 games where he'll get like 2 sacks or, you know, multiple sacks a game, super disruptive, tackles for losses, all that stuff. And then all of a sudden he'll have 3 or 4 games where you don't hear from him. So, you know, he's over Dexter Lawrence for me at number 4 because of his agility, because of his, you know, rip moves, his agile. He has got the strong hands. He's, you know, good block shredder. But he's not that high because he's streaky, you know. He'll have some good games. He'll get really quiet. Also, his speed, you know. Nowadays in the NFL, it's very fast. Running backs and quarterbacks even are very fast. So you got to have these DTs and these DNs that have speed with them. Quintin Williams, not so much. Number 3, we have Rashod Gray, defensive tackle from Michigan. He's 6'5", 287. Great size. Great quickness, great agility. This dude is fast. He's a, you know, good block shedder to stop the run. Now, good block shedder to stop the run. So he's going to get through your, you know, he's going to get through your guards, your center to get in the backfield to stop the run. Again, good size, good quickness, good agility. He's probably another 4'3" defensive tackle. He's going to make moves and get through this offensive line to get to the quarterback and to get to the running back. His downsides, he's underweight. You know, and that's not a bad thing necessarily, but when it comes to defensive tackle and run stopping, he needs to gain some weight. And if you're running at him, he's going to get blocked. He's going to get knocked down. That's why I said he's good at block shedding to get to the run. But if you're getting run at him, he's not so great. So if, you know, you're running to the opposite side and he can block shed, get through, get to the running back, great. But if you're running at him and he's getting bulldogged, he's not that great. Just like Quintin Williams, he's streaky at times. Sometimes he'll look really great. Sometimes he'll look bad. Depends on the games. So again, he's now, you know, I have him at 3 because of his quickness, his size, his block shedding ability, and is able to stop the run when he block sheds. But he's not top-notch defensive tackle because of, you know, if you run at him, he's getting run over. Needs a little bit more size, a little bit more muscle gain on there. And he's streaky. He's another streaky type defensive tackle. My number 2 defensive tackle is Ed Oliver. You guys probably already assumed it. Ed Oliver, defensive tackle, Houston. He's 6'1", 275 pounds. I'm hearing great things about Ed Oliver. I'm hearing if he could fall to Miami at 13, I would take him in a heartbeat. I'm really liking Ed Oliver. He's explosive. He's got rare speed, natural pad level, which means, you know, a lot of times when it comes to defensive linemen, I played defensive linemen, you want to stay low. You don't want to get your pads up because then these offensive linemen are going to knock you right on your ass. You want to stay low. You want to rip. You want to turn. That's why a lot of times you'll hear with some of my defensive end prospects, they have bad hip movement because you want to be able to turn. You want to be able to get, especially defensive ends, you want to be able to get around the left tackle, the right tackle. I played defensive end. So, you know, a lot of movements. You want to stay low. You want to hit. You want to turn. So with this guy, he's got great pad level, sheds blocks, and he's got fast feet. So again, Ed Oliver, I'm really liking this guy. He's a little undersized. He lacks the strength and struggles with downhill running. Essentially, it's another one where they're going to run at him downhill running. He's going to struggle with it. He's, like I said, he's a little undersized. He's short. He's 6'1", 275, so he's not as big as Dexter Lawrence or my number one guy, or even, Rashod Gray at 6'5", and he lacks the strength. But he's fast. He's speedy. Another guy who would probably thrive in a 4-3 defense over a 3-4 defense, because this nose tackle, he takes on a lot. So that's why probably Dexter Lawrence him and my number one is probably the only nose tackles that could potentially go into a 3-4 defense. My number one, if there wasn't this whole thing around Kyler Murray going to, the Cardinals number one, I could see this guy going number one, or my number one with the edge rushers. But that's Quintin Williams, defensive tackle from Alabama. This dude is 6'3", 303 pounds. He's just a monster. He's disruptive, very strong. His natural strength, can hold double teams, which is super important for defensive tackle. I've talked about this multiple times when it comes to defensive line. The reason the Dolphins had such a hard time stopping the run is because our defensive tackles couldn't take on multiple blockers, which frees up a blocker to get to the second level to block the linebackers, and we get run on. This guy could take on double blocks, and this dude is only going to get better when he's playing in the NFL, only going to get better with more practice and experience. So like I said, he's disruptive, strong, got natural strength, takes on double blockers, huge dude. His downfall, his weakness isn't even necessarily that big of a weakness. He's a one-year wonder, and he lacks experience. So essentially he had one great year, and he hasn't played that much, but he's just a monster. So that is my top five. Quintin Williams at 1, Ed Oliver at 2, Rashod Gray at 3, which I'm probably, if I'm saying these names wrong, you guys are going to correct me. Quintin Williams at 4, and number 5 is Dexter Lawrence. I'd like, if Ed Oliver can fall to us to 13, I'd love to take him. But other than that, I don't really, I don't see Quintin Williams going to us to 13. Rashod Gray could be a nice pick at 13. But then, with the Quintin Williams, and say at 13, Haskins is there, trade down. You could potentially still get Quintin Williams. Dexter Lawrence I think is going to be a second day pick. So those are my DTs. Now let's get into edge rushers, the sexy guys on the defensive line, the guys that just kill quarterbacks. And let's start at number 5. My number 5, Brian Burns, defensive end, Florida. He's 6'5", 231. I'm not kidding you. That's pretty close to my measurements. 6'5", but I'm about 225, 230. So, but I don't have the muscle. I'm a big pudgy mess. Got explosive speed off the edge, which is huge for defensive ends. He's got a good get off, excellent pursuit, and height and length is huge for this dude. So he, like I said, he's tall, got the length, got the arm span. When you're a defensive end, you want to have those long arms to do rips, double rips, pushes, all that stuff. Explosive speed off the edge. That's also incredibly important, because you want to make these offensive tackles shuffle themselves while you're getting off the edge. You want to be explosive off that snap. Bah! And then, the rip and the length and all that is hugely important. And he's got an excellent pursuit, which like I said with the defensive tackles, in this NFL with these speeds, you want to be able to stay at the quarterback and keep getting at the quarterback. You're facing Josh Allen's, you're facing Lamar Jackson's, you're facing, Aaron Rodgers, Wilson's. You want to have a great pursuit. Brian Burns, his length and his speed is great for pass rushing, but it's not great for run stopping. He has a hard time setting that edge, and he has a hard time not getting run over. He's also very lean and skinny, and he probably wouldn't be a great defensive end for a 4-3. Think of more of a 3-4 outside linebacker type. But like I said, he's fast, so he can get off the edge. He got great pursuit and all that stuff. But then when it comes to the run and all that stuff, he's lean, he's skinny. He might have to put some weight on. get some strength and conditioning going, and then potentially could be a good 4-3 defensive end. But right now I can see him as a 3-4 outside linebacker. My number 4 is Clennon Ferrell, defensive end, Clemson, 6'4", 265 pounds. This dude has a great height and another great wingspan, these long defensive ends. Fun fact, side story, when I first started playing football, Pee Wee football, they lined us up and he started raffling off positions. Mind you, I was the tallest guy on the field. They actually had me play with the older kids because I was too tall to play with the kids in my age group. And he's raffling off, pointing, and he got to me. I thought he was going to say wide receiver, quarterback, something like that. And he said defensive end, and I was blown away. This tall, skinny kid, you want me to play defensive end? But watching and playing defensive end, I've realized he, like Clennon Ferrell, great height, great wingspan. You want to have tall, long arms. You want to be able to, like I said, rip and make all those moves. And that's what he has. He's versatile. He can play 4-3 or 3-4 outside linebacker. Good with his hands down or up. Again, good at 4-3 or 3-4 outside linebacker. Great motor, and he has got a great awareness. His downfall is he stands tall. So when he doesn't have his hand on the ground and he's coming at you, he tends to run tall. Now, again, I talked to you guys about this with the other player, that you don't want to be tall because you can get popped very easily and you can fall on your ass. You want to be low and, pursuit. He doesn't have great speed on the get off, and he tends to be, you wonder if he can translate to the NFL with these bigger with these bigger offensive tackles. But with this guy, the reason I have him over Brian Burns is, he's got the great motor. He can play both 4-3 and 3-4 compared to Brian Burns, who's more of a 3-4 outside linebacker. He's good with his hands down or up, even though, when his hands are off the ground, he tends to run high. But I like him better because of his motor, his awareness, and his use of his arms. My number 3 edge rusher, this guy killed it, absolutely killed it at the combine. I would actually like to take him at 13 if he is there. I could see him going there because of the story that came out about him, and that is Montez Sweat, defensive end, Mississippi. He's 6'5", 241. Like I said, he had a great combine, great 40-yard dash, great bench press, everything. He's got great size, speed, play recognition. He's got a very good pursuit. Again, this is very important in today's NFL to have a very good pursuit. Montez Sweat, he has a lot. He has it all. Now, there's his downfalls, which is he's got the stiff hips. Like I talked to you guys before, you want to have those fluid hips to be able to turn your body, to get around. If you're a left or a right, you want to be able to get down and around the tackles. He has that heart condition. Now, it came out he had the heart condition, but like I've said in my other videos, he has played. He was cleared to play in the college. He was cleared to play in the Senior Bowl, and he was clear and wasn't sent home at the combine. A lot of times if there's a heart condition, if there's some type of problem, they will send you home at the combine and they won't let you run these things. So it came out that he had the heart condition, which could have him fall to potentially us at 13, but he was cleared with it. So I don't know. He needs more weight on him because he tends to get knocked down and pushed around a lot. So he's a very good pass rusher, and he's very good getting after the quarterback. But when it comes to run defense and all that stuff, he tends to get pushed around a lot, gets pushed out of his gaps and all that stuff. So I like him at 3 because of his ridiculous combine, because of his size, his speed, all that stuff. But he needs to, the weight is a problem because he's going to get pushed around. He's got the stiff hips, and the heart condition kind of worried me, so that's why I have him at 3. But that's why I have him at 3 is because of all the other things. Number 2 for me is a edge rusher / outside linebacker, and that's Josh Allen from Kentucky, 6'4", 258 pounds. Now, this dude has great size for a defensive end. He's got great speed to be able to not only get after the quarterback, but to drop back into coverage and cover tight ends and cover the middle of the field, cover all these types of running backs. He's got a great chase down, which, again, is super important. If he's in coverage and then he needs to chase someone down, he's going to get to him before they can break off a touchdown. Got a great get off, and like I say, he can go from having his hand down in the dirt to going pass rush to be able to stand up and go into coverage. Very, very fluid. So that's why I got this guy at number 2. But he does get antsy. So he tends to want to jump the snap count and get stuck on his toes a lot and can get tripped up and pushed around a lot. And he tends to he's got the speed and everything, so he tends to try to duck under blocks instead of contacting the block and moving the play inward. So if the running play is to the outside, he tends to want to get around the block instead of contacting it and moving that running back in the inside towards his linebackers. And then finally, his last knock is he needs a more pass rush repertoire. Right now, all he has is rips and chops, which, you play enough or you watch film, these offensive linemen, especially these, veteran offensive linemen in the NFL, they can stop you from doing that. So you have to have different moves, spin moves, all that other stuff. But this guy at number 2, I don't see him even making it out of the top 6. He's just a beast at defensive end, outside linebacker. He could play either or, 4-3, 3-4. Because like I said, he can put his hand in the dirt, get at the quarterback, but he also can drop back into coverage, cover these tight ends and these running backs. Great pass rusher, number 2. And my number 1, his brother was number 1 pass rusher when he got drafted. You guys already know. I'm talking about Nick Bosa, defensive end, Ohio State, 6'3", 265 pounds. He's a dangerous pass rusher, just like his brother. Constant pressure, disruptive, good hands, quick, experience against double teams, which is very, very good because he's probably going to get double teamed, and that's what these good, elite, top-notch defensive ends can do. Okay, you're going to put 2 on me. I'm going to get through both of them and get to the quarterback. Guy's a beast. Now, he doesn't have a great height. He's short and light, so he's not a big, bulky defensive end. 6'3", 265 pounds. If you notice, when I'm reading off all the other ones, they're around 6'5". So he's a little bit short. He's coming off that muscle injury that took him out of the end of Ohio State's season, and then he started focusing on the draft. So there is that type, that worry. Then he also, in the run game, he can get covered up when it comes to his height and all that stuff. When it comes to running against the run defense, he can tend to get covered up and disappear. But those are my defensive line rankings from defensive ends to defensive tackles. Comment below. Let me know what you think. My 5 edge rushers, my 5 defensive tackles. I would love for Montez Sweat to be at 13. I would also love for Ed Oliver to be at 13. Those are the 2 guys I'd probably take. Even Josh Allen, but he's not going to be at 13. But comment below. Let me know what you guys think. If, I missed somebody that you guys like or you have it in a different order, let me know what you guys think. And let me get to you guys' comment of the day. This comment comes from Tim Chapman, and he says, "Seeing the mock drafts about they all seem to have us taking a quarterback. I sit and laugh at them all. Would you agree with them? We should be looking for a D-line." When it comes to mock drafts and when it comes to, I tweeted this. So, I normally after this say follow me on Twitter. But I tweeted this, that this is the point in the season, one, where it kind of gets a little quiet, so it gets a little dead. There was the point before free agency that had happened, but also out comes the rumors, out comes the lies from the agents and from other teams because they want certain players and they want other players to fall. So don't believe everything you hear. Also, mock drafts. I don't think I've ever seen one that was 100% correct. I don't even think I've ever seen one that was 25% correct. They're always like, oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. All of a sudden, they're like, oh my God, a trade happened and so. The Chiefs move up for Patrick Mahomes. Oh my God. I don't believe any of this crap. I don't believe anything that even the Dolphins are going to say. Oh, we're not interested in a quarterback, or we don't want this, or we're going to do this. Don't believe anything, but I honestly, I think they're going to go D-line in the first round just from the list I made and seeing how deep this D-line is. I think they're going to go D-line in the first round or offensive line if one of those centers or guards can fall to us. But yeah, I don't see them taking quarterback in 13, but I'll talk about that in another video on what I would do at 13. That video might be coming out very soon. But be sure to follow me on Twitter. As soon as news breaks, I tweet it out to you guys. As soon as I see things, I tweet it out to you guys. Sometimes I just tweet out to you guys to be like, hey, what's up? Also, I'm going to start getting your guys' comments from Twitter. Also, with the giveaway, I'm going to also incorporate Twitter. Again, I don't know what I'm doing, but again, thank you guys for that. But be sure to follow me on Twitter. Go check out the Bit Boys. We've been churning and putting out games. Got Devil May Cry, got Resident Evil 2 Remake. We're going to be playing the new King Knight, if you even know what that is. Go check it out. Give this video a thumbs up because, God, it was a lot of work for me to do. I'm not complaining. I love every minute of it. I love watching the tape. It reminded me of playing defensive end, and I loved it so much. Give this video a thumbs up because you like these videos. You appreciate the prospects videos. It helps you to decide what you want the Dolphins to pick. Draft. Also, the draft is in a month. Give the thumbs up for that. Subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I have so much planned. This is draft month for me. Nothing has happened with Robert Quinn. If something does happen, obviously you're going to get it from me. I'm going to start giving you guys updates, especially about Albert Wilson. We all want to know how he's doing, but I'm hearing he'll be fine for the OTAs. But be sure to subscribe if you're not already. I got a ton of things planned for you guys. But I will see you guys Monday with another video. But like usual, stay classy and fins up.